been 6 months since Russia invaded Ukraine. The day has been marked with a new show of defiance from Ukraine's president on his country's Independence Day and a similar display of support from allies in the West in the form of money and military equipment. The outgoing British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has made what could be his last trip to the capital of Kyiv, pledging to stand with the country.
It was a muted day in the capital. The threat of Russian airstrikes hung over Independence Day, as did the memory of those killed fighting in the defence of the country's freedom. Britain has been one of Ukraine's closest allies during the 6-month war. It is no exaggeration to say that Boris Johnson is adored by many Ukrainians, and he came here in secret today to mark the anniversary.
This is now a war for that independence. And history teaches us that when a country has a language, an identity, a pride, a love of its traditions, a patriotic feeling that simply grows with every month and year that passes, when a country of that kind is engaged in a war for its very existence, I tell you, my friends, that war is only going to end one way. Ukraine will win.
Some leaders have already saying that we've done so much. What do you want? What else do you want from me? Now, the Prime Minister Johnson always said, what else the UK can do for Ukraine to win, as Ukraine will definitely be victorious. I think that's the major essence of the relations of UK to Ukraine, and this respect and the friendly relations in between of us.
Normally, an annual military parade would take place on the vast boulevard that runs through the centre of Kyiv. Independence from the Soviet Union is something they celebrate. Instead, the street was full of Russian weapons, destroyed during their doomed advance of the city in those frightening days that started in late February. They are now monuments to Russian failure and a symbol of Ukrainian resistance.
Vladimir Putin thought that Russian forces would capture Kyiv within days. They failed. This is not the military parade that he imagined. Instead, his forces are bogged down in a war that they're unwilling to leave and so far incapable of winning.
On the front line, the fighting continued. Mykolaiv in the south is bombed every day. Barely a street is untouched. An airstrike on Mykolaiv blew out the Ryabovas' windows onto their sleeping granddaughter. This is what their third-floor apartment looked like afterwards.
И как это случилось, без 10, без 5 где-то 7. Такой, это не передать, это так быстро, вот такой шух, такой шар огненный и с пылью. Влетает тут в спальню, дверь открыта, меня поднимает и бахкает об кровать.
The windows are now boarded up, which gives them some protection. But of course, it also blocks the light, so their electricity is on more than normal, and that costs them money they don't have. She shows us what little they have left for the month. They couldn't even afford bread this morning. Every morning, people in the city venture outside to see who is alive and who is not. That's been the grim reality of life here for 6 long months. Alistair Bunkle, Sky News, in Ukraine.